March 15, 44 BC. Rome's most powerful man walks into the Senate, surrounded by friends. Minutes later, he would be stabbed 23 times. But the real question is, why did the men closest to him decide to kill him? This is the story of the assassination of Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was not just a general. He was a military genius. By the time he was in his 40s, he had conquered Gaul, modern-day France, and turned himself into one of the richest and most famous men in Rome. His soldiers loved him. The people of Rome adored him. But the Roman Senate feared him. Why? Because Rome hated kings. For centuries, Romans believed that one man should never have absolute power. But Caesar was becoming exactly that. In 49 BC, he crossed a small river called the Rubicon with his army. That act started a civil war. After years of fighting, Caesar defeated his rivals and became the dictator of Rome. After winning the civil war, Caesar controlled everything: the army, the government, the money. In 44 BC, the Senate declared him dictator for life. To many Romans, this sounded like something else. A king. Rumors spread through the city. Was Caesar planning to crown himself king of Rome? A group of senators began meeting in secret. They believed Rome was in danger. If Caesar became king, the Roman Republic would die. So they made a shocking decision. They would kill him. The leaders of the conspiracy were Brutus and Cassius. Cassius hated Caesar's power. But Brutus was different. Brutus had once been Caesar's friend. Some even believed Caesar treated him like a son. So why would Brutus join the plot? Because he believed Rome came first. The conspirators slowly recruited more senators. Soon there were over 60 men involved. Their plan was simple. They would attack Caesar during a meeting of the Senate on March 15th, a day known as the Ides of March. Strangely, Caesar received several warnings. A fortune teller once told him, "Beware the Ides of March." The night before the Senate meeting, Caesar's wife Calpurnia had a terrible nightmare. She dreamed that Caesar was murdered. She begged him not to go to the Senate. At first, Caesar agreed. But one of the conspirators convinced him the senators would mock him for cowardice. Caesar changed his mind and walked straight into the trap. When Caesar arrived at the Senate, the conspirators surrounded him. One senator stepped forward and grabbed his toga. That was the signal. Suddenly, knives flashed. The senators began stabbing him. Caesar tried to fight back, but there were too many. Then he saw someone he never expected. Brutus. According to legend, Caesar looked at him and said, "Et tu, Brute?" Meaning, "You too, Brutus." Moments later, Caesar collapsed at the foot of a statue of his old rival Pompey. He had been stabbed 23 times. The conspirators believed they had saved Rome. But they were wrong. Instead of restoring the Republic, Caesar's death started another massive civil war. His ally Mark Antony and his adopted son Octavian hunted down the assassins. Brutus and Cassius were eventually defeated and killed. And in the end, Rome did not return to being a republic. Instead, Octavian became Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. Ironically, the murder of Julius Caesar helped create the very thing the conspirators feared most, an empire ruled by one man. The Ides of March became one of the most famous betrayals in history, a reminder that sometimes, the greatest danger comes from the people closest to you.